Hello YouTube! We are back with yet another deck profile. Today I'm going to show you one of my more fun decks, and it's a Mimighoul Wake Up. So this deck, it's not a meta deck at all, but it's really fun to play. What we sometimes do is when Paul and I, we play against each other, then one of us will decide which level of strength, so to speak, we are going to play. So one of us will decide if we play meta decks or if we're going to play something rogue or something fun, which is how we actually are able to get a lot of enjoyment out of our fun decks. If we both play a fun deck, then you can still actually do all of your plays the way these decks are intended to be played. So I would highly recommend, if you have a friend group or if you play with your partner, then you can both make some fun decks and actually play archetypes and get enjoyment out of archetypes that you otherwise wouldn't be able to play because they wouldn't be good enough. So I also decided to make the Mimighoul deck not the best version that it could be, because I really wanted to play the wake up cards because they are very pretty. So this is a flip based deck, as you probably already know. This is my first flip deck, so it's a bit more difficult to play, but it's very nice. I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So let's get on into the deck profile. For the main deck, of course, we play 3 of the Mimighoul Dragon. This is your best Mimighoul starter, I guess, because all of them have the same effect where you can, during your main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in face down defense. But this card you can also, when it's normal summoned, it says this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Mimighoul spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So that's why this can be your starter, because it can get you your Mimighoul Maker spell. And then you can continue your plays from there. Then another one that we play at 3 is the Mimighoul Archfiend. Maybe I should also mention, I guess everybody already knows, but the Mimighoul dragon, it's also known as the Raigeki dragon, because when it's face down on your opponent's field and it's flipped, it destroys all the monsters on that side of the field, so of your opponent, which is really great. The Mimighoul Archfiend, when this card is flipped, it says your opponent draws 1 card, then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and give control of this card to your opponent. So this is also a nice one on the opponent's field. However, you would rather have this one to be able to summon on your field, because if this card is normal or special summoned, you can change 1 face down monster on the field to face up attack or defense. So you can, if you set 1 monster face down on your opponent's field, this one can flip that opponent's monster, and because when they're flipped, your opponents will have to hand over the monster to you again. So you have 2 bodies on your field after that, and as a bonus you can get the effects to add extra cards to your hand. So then we play 3 of the Mimighoul Flower. This one, when it's flipped, your opponent adds 1 flip monster or Mimighoul card from their deck to their hand. And it also says if a face down monster is on the field, you can special summon this card face up on your field. So this one is possible to special summon on your own side. Not all of them have special summon effects, so it's important to remember which ones do. Then for the one-offs, we play 1 armor. yeah, this one is not the one you usually add to your hand, add from your deck first, but it's a great one, a great option. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card face up on your field. For the slime, it says if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon it face up on your field. And the other one off is the fairy. And if you control a Mimighoul monster, you can special summon her on your field. So depending on the situation you're in, yeah, it's you will pick, you will choose which one you will add to your from your deck to your hand. They also have all different flip effects. Armor says this turn Mimighoul monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. The slime, your opponent can special summon one Mimighoul monster from their deck to their field. So this one can also be a nice one to summon to your opponent's field first. And the fairy, this turn your opponent, this turn you cannot activate the effects of monster special summon from your hand. So this one is also can be disruptive for your opponent if you summon it to their field. And then of course we have the one Mimighoul Master. This one is not a flip monster. This one is basically, yeah, it's kind of like your boss monster for the archetype. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while your opponent controls any face down monsters, or you control a Mimighoul monster other than Mimighoul Master. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Mimighoul monster from your deck to your hand, except Mimighoul Master. During your opponent's main phase quick effect, you can change one face down monster on the field to face up attack or defense. So this one can help you decide when you want your the Mimighoul monster that you have on your opponent's field face down, when you want to flip it. Which is yeah, really great. Then for extra disruption, we have the option of Sonic Jammer. The flip effect of this one is your opponent cannot activate any spell cards until the end phase of the turn. Yeah, so that's really great. And then we get to the Wake Up engine. So we play 3 copies of Kuro. The flip effect of Kuro is you can target one other face-up monster on the field, change it to face-down defense. And you can reveal this card in your hand, add one wind flip monster from your deck to your hand, and then discard one card. So this one can also help you search for the Sonic Jammer, which is great, or your other wake-ups. And the quick effect, you can change one face down defense position monster on the field or target and then change it to face up defense. So this again, like the Mimighoul Master, is one of the monsters you can use to decide when you want to flip your opponent's monster and get the effect out of it. Then we play 3 copies of Earl. She is also she has quite a bit of attack, so that's very nice. The flip effect, you can send face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard up to the number of flip monsters you control. And if this card is in your hand, you can discard one of the flip monster, and if you do, special summon it. Special summon this card in face-up attack or defense. During your end phase, you can target one flip monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face-down defense. So Earl is quite a strong card. And then we play 3 copies of Mocha. Once per turn during your end phase, you can change this card to face down defense. I don't really use that effect much. And you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can target one face down defense position monster on the field, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, change that monster to attack. So this one can basically work like the Archfiends. If you we will get to the Mimighoul Maker spell later, but basically what it does is you pick 2 flip monsters, and then randomly one gets summoned to your opponent's field and the other gets added to your hand. And because of the random factor, it's often you will choose Archfiend as one of the monsters, and you will want this one to be added to your hand so you can use its effect to change the face down monster on the opponent's field to face up. But if, unfortunately this one would get summoned to your opponent's field and you have Mocha in your hand, you still can do the same thing, which is really great. And then for the last wake up, we play 2 copies of Matcha. This one is the least valuable. I forgot to mention the flip effect of Mocha. It says you can target one face up monster on the field. It gains 1000 attack, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase. I haven't really used that effect much either. For Matcha, you can reveal this card and one flip monster in your hand. Special summon both in face down defense. Once per turn to the end phase, you can target one face down card on the field, send it to the graveyard. So because it summons both monsters in face down defense on your field, that's not always the situation you want, which is why I only play 2 copies of this one. The flip effect is you can target one face down defense position monster on the field, change it to face up attack. So the way I use that effect, or at least I try to use it always, is combined with Kuro. So you flip this one up and then you can target another face down defense and flip that one up. So you could then choose to flip up a Kuro if you, for example, had summoned both of these face down. And then you have the quick effect of Kuro ready to flip any face down defense position monster to face up whenever you wanted to. Then I play a couple of hand traps. It's just 3 copies of Ash, 2 ogres and 2 drolls. It's a smaller hand trap lineup because we have less space, but yeah, that's normal with a fun deck. So that's it for the monster lineup. And for the spells, we play 3 of the Mimighoul Dungeon. This is the field spell, which is also a floodgate, because any player who controls a face down monster cannot normal summon monsters nor declare an attack with monsters that were special summoned this turn. So that's very nice. And during your main phase, you can add one Mimighoul monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, so it helps you extend. And the first effect, it says Mimighoul monsters you control that will not normal or special summon this turn gain attack equal to their original defense. So if you go first and you once you get to your opponent's turn, your monsters will already have a boosted attack because of a field spell. And since they cannot normal summon, that can make their plays a bit more difficult. And then we play 3 of the very important Mimighoul Maker. So this is a card that says you can reveal 2 flip monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one for you to special summon to their field if they stay on defense, and you add the other to your hand. Then you can special summon one Mimighoul monster from your hand. If your opponent special summons a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one face down monster your opponent controls, change it to face up attack or defense. And you can only use one Mimighoul Maker effect per turn, only once that turn. So in your own turn, you will use it to get access to extra bodies. And then, during your opponent's turn, this can be another card that can help you determine when the monsters on your opponent's field are flipped face up, which is great. Because of the random factor in this card, that makes this deck a bit more difficult to play. You have to know very well which lines you have to take if the quote-unquote wrong monster is summoned to your opponent's field. But yeah, it's very fun to play. Then I also play one Mimighoul Charm. This one is usually not in any Mimighoul decks, but it's a very beautiful card. I think this is actually my favorite card, and yeah, I just wanted to play it. Once per chain during your main phase, if a Mimighoul monster your opponent controls is flipped face up, you can randomly choose one face down card in your opponent's extra deck, and if it is a monster that can be special summoned, special summon it to your field, but it cannot activate its effect this turn. If it wasn't or couldn't be special summoned, banish that card. So it can disrupt a little bit, but yeah. Also, it's an effect that you can use twice per turn, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Then finally we play one Mimighoul Room. This is the trap card. You could also play 2 of the Room instead of 1 charm. The Room, it says special summon 1 Mimighoul monster from your hand or deck to your field, or in face down defense position to your opponent's field. So you can use this in your opponent's turn to summon a Mimighoul dragon to their field when it suits you. And then you can use one of the many options that you have available in your deck to flip that Mimighoul dragon and yeah, destroy their field basically. Then oh yeah, it also says after summoning that Mimighoul monster, you can change one face down or face up monster on the field to face down defense, which can also make it so your opponent cannot use the monster they just summoned. And then the second effect is you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target any number of Mimighoul cards you control, return them to the hand. And you can only use one Mimighoul Room effect per turn, only once that turn. I haven't really had a situation where that second effect came up. It's mainly for summoning the Mimighoul monster to your opponent's field. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. Then let's get to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we play 2 copies of the Giant Mimighoul. It says your non-XYZ Mimighoul monsters can attack directly while your opponent controls a face-down monster. You can only use each of the following effects of Giant Mimighoul once per turn. If this card is XYZ summoned, you can add one Mimighoul card from your deck to your hand, so it's an extender. You can detach one material from this card and target face-up cards on the field up to the number of face-down monsters your opponent controls. Destroy them. If you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. So it has a bit of a burn effect, but you mainly summon this one to add another Mimighoul card from your deck. Then 2 copies of Mimighoul Throne. You can detach one material from this card, special summon 1 Mimighoul Master from your deck. So this is your way to get to the Mimighoul Master. It can special summon from the hand, deck, or graveyard even, so not from the banishment. So if you play against Mimighoul, then banish the Mimighoul Master. And this won't, it won't work anymore. And during the main phase, quick effect, you can target one Mimighoul Master you control, equip this card to this an equip spell. That gives it 1,000 attack. Then you can return cards from the field to the hand up to the number of materials this card had. You can only use one Mimighoul Throne effect per turn, only once that turn. So of course in your own turn you will use it to summon the master, and then in your opponent's turn you will equip this one to your Mimighoul Master. And yeah. Then for the other rank 1 options, we have one Ripplebird. This one is really great in this deck because it says you can detach raw material from this card and target one monster on the field, change its battle position. So if you didn't have access to Mimighoul Archfiend or your Wake Up Matcha to flip whatever was summoned with the Mimighoul Maker to your opponent's field. And you are able to make this one, you can still flip the monster on your opponent's field. That's mainly what you use it for. It also says, well, all monsters you control are in defense position. Your opponent cannot declare an attack. That can be useful at times. Then I play one Fucho. I just chose this one because it's also a bird, which I just look nice. I think he looks very funny. Unaffected by other cards' effects. Once per turn, quick effect. You can detach 2 materials from this card for the rest of this turn. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage. I haven't really made this one, but yeah, it's just in there as an option. Then I have one Lyrilusk Assembled Nightingale and Lyrilusk Promenade Thrush. Again, I haven't made these guys, but yeah, you have a lot of flexible space in the extra deck, and I just wanted to pick some options that looked great together. These are again birds, basically, so they are just nice options. Then I also play one full armored Utopic Array Lancer. You can play other Utopic cards. I cannot remember the names from the top of my head, but they were slightly more expensive, so I didn't want to put those more expensive cards in a fun deck like this. We still had this one laying around, so I thought it was a great option. And then we play a Downward Magician and the Zeus, of course, the package always very nice, and then also a Typhon, which is a great option. And then there's 3 Link monsters to finish off the extra deck: IP, SP, and the Underworld Goddess. IP and SP, they come up at times, so that's very nice. I again haven't made Underworld Goddess, but it's a nice option. So yeah, that's it for the extra deck. You mainly just summon the Mimighoul monsters or your Ripple Bird, IPSP, and yeah, the rest doesn't come up that much. So I do not have a side deck for this deck. Yeah, that's just the way it is. I just really, I think this is a really fun deck. You don't really need a side deck because the hand trap lineup is very small, so there isn't really that much I would switch out. I just highly recommend this deck for if you want something fun, if you would like to test out flip monsters, if you've always appreciated the Mimighoul archetype and you like the wake ups especially. I think it's a really great way to be able to play the wake ups. Also for the sleeves, of course, from the Dragon Shield, the olive color for the main deck and black for the extra deck. I felt like black just looks really great with the XYZs. Looks very chic. And the Mimighouls have there are some olive details in it. And of course, the wake ups with Matcha, for example, you have greens in there, and Kuro as well. So I think the olive color it works really well for this deck. The scoring, I would say for fun, this deck rates an 8.5 out of 10. For looks as well, it's an 8.5 out of 10. And favorite, it's an 8. And total is then a 25 out of 30. So yeah, for fun decks, this is just one that scores very high. I think it's great to be able to play Mimighoul flip decks are very interesting. Of course, if you want a flip deck that's a bit more meta, then go with Enya Craft, but I don't really like that deck. I don't like playing it against it, but I guess nobody does. I think it's more fun to play against Mimighoul, probably. But yeah, like I've said before, if you play together with friends, maybe talk with each other and see if other people are interested in making some fun decks to play against each other, and have fun with some less meta archetypes. I think that's it's really great. Yeah, that's everything I wanted to mention. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again the next time. Goodbye, guys.